The story begins with a scene that can't be forgotten. A cold November night in New York City, where the streets glowed faintly under rain-soaked lights. The world kept moving, busy and loud, but one man sat in his silent penthouse, a glass of untouched wine before him. His name was Adrian Cross, CEO of one of the biggest tech companies in America. To the world, he was the definition of success, a billionaire at just 43, known for his ruthless business mind and flawless suits. But in that glittering silence, in that lonely apartment overlooking the city, Adrian was nothing more than a man haunted by emptiness. His wealth could buy him anything, except the one thing he had lost years ago. Family. And then, fate intervened in the most unexpected way. It happened on an ordinary Sunday morning. Adrian, dressed in his usual gray overcoat, was walking out of a small cafe he rarely visited, hoping to blend in with the normal world for just a few minutes. That was when a small hand tugged at his sleeve. He looked down and saw a little girl, no older than 8, with big brown eyes that carried both innocence and sadness. Her shoes were worn out, her sweater too thin for the cold, yet her voice didn't tremble as she looked up at him and whispered words that pierced deeper than any business deal, deeper than any loss. "Here's $50, she said, holding out crumpled bills in her tiny hand. "I just need a dad for one day." That was it. That was the sentence that shattered the walls around Adrian's heart. He didn't move for a second. He didn't even breathe. This little girl was offering everything she had, not for food, not for toys, not for shelter, but for something he himself had longed for in silence, the warmth of a father's presence. And before I take you deeper into this extraordinary story, let me pause for a moment and ask you something from my heart. If you believe in kindness, in second chances, in stories that remind us of what really matters in life, then please take a moment right now to like this video, comment your thoughts, share it with someone who needs hope today, and subscribe to our channel StoryNest. Your support helps us continue bringing stories that touch the soul. Adrian didn't know what to say. He had been called many things in his life: boss, genius, billionaire, even monster, in the boardrooms where he broke deals without blinking. But never, not once in decades, had someone called him dad. And now, here was this little stranger asking him to play that role. His instinct was to refuse, to walk away, to protect himself from the emotions he buried so carefully. But something in her eyes, something unexplainable, made him nod. Just once. Her name was Lily. She was small, fragile, but spoke with a surprising strength. She told him her mom worked double shifts at a diner and had no time for things like daddy-daughter day at her school. All she wanted was for one person to show up with her, to walk hand in hand like the other kids, to not be the one child standing alone when teachers called for dads. Adrian listened, each word slicing through the armor he had built around his heart. He agreed to spend the day with her. It was awkward at first, he, the polished billionaire in a world of business meetings, and she, the little girl with a backpack too big for her shoulders. But as hours passed, something inside him began to shift. They went to the park, ate ice cream, rode the carousel. She laughed at things he never thought were funny. She pointed at clouds and told him which ones looked like puppies. She slipped her small hand into his, as if it belonged there. And for the first time in decades, Adrian laughed, a laugh so raw, so unguarded, that even he barely recognized it. But the story wasn't all light. Behind Lily's smiles was a reality darker than Adrian could imagine. Her mother was struggling to keep them afloat, bills piling higher than her wages. Lily confessed she had been saving her allowance, every coin and crumpled bill, just in case one day she could buy a dad to fill the hole she felt. That was the $50 she tried to give him. That was her entire world in her tiny hands. Adrian's heart cracked open. Days turned into weeks. Adrian found himself drawn back to the diner where Lily's mom worked, just to see if Lily was there. At first, her mother, Grace, was wary of him. She had seen men walk in and out of lives, leaving behind nothing but scars. But slowly, she noticed something different about Adrian. He didn't just show up, he stayed. He didn't just spend money, he gave time. He helped Lily with her school project, attended her small dance recital, even fixed the leaky faucet in their modest apartment. And in those ordinary moments, Adrian found something extraordinary: love, family, belonging. But life never makes things easy. News spread quickly. The tabloids caught sight of Adrian with a mystery child and spun cruel stories. Shareholders of his company questioned his judgment. Old wounds reopened, memories of the family he lost long ago, a wife who left because he put business above love, a son he never got to meet because fate was merciless. He wondered if he was worthy of being called Dad, even pretend. And yet, Lily never stopped believing in him. She held his hand tighter when cameras flashed. She drew pictures of him in her school art book with the words, "My Dad," written boldly at the top. She didn't care about the millions he owned or the headlines that followed him. She cared about the men who showed up, who listened, who stayed. One evening, as Adrian tucked her into bed after reading a story, Lily whispered the words that sealed his fate forever, "I don't need you for just one day. I need you for every day." Tears burned Adrian's eyes. For the first time in decades, he prayed, not for success, not for money, but for the chance to be the man this little girl believed he could be. The road wasn't easy. There were battles with his board of directors, whispers in the press, doubts in his own heart. But Adrian made his choice. He stepped back from the ruthless empire he built and stepped into the life of a man who finally understood what wealth really meant. Not stocks, not penthouses, not bank accounts, but the laughter of a child who called him Dad, and the warmth of a family he thought he had lost forever. By the end, Adrian wasn't just a millionaire CEO. He was something far greater. He was a father. He was a man reborn through the love of a little girl who once offered him $50 for a single day, but ended up giving him a lifetime of meaning. And now, dear listeners, if this story touched your heart, if it reminded you that love is the greatest gift and second chances are real, please support us. Like this video, share it with someone who needs hope today, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to StoryNest so we can keep bringing you stories that heal and inspire. Before we end, I have one special request for you. Drop a comment below with the words, "Love is priceless." Let's fill the comment section with light and kindness. Because at the end of the day, no matter how much money we make, the greatest treasure we can give or receive is love.